The Magic of the Lost Temple by Sudha Murthy. The Family, Part 1. Nooni was a 12-year-old tomboy who loved all forms of physical activity, whether it was walking, climbing, jumping, or hiking. She was a foodie but wasn't interested in cooking. She was not fond of TV or cartoons either. Sometimes she watched Chhota Bheem, but only when her parents told her to do so. She didn't like surfing the internet or playing computer games. If she couldn't be outdoors, she preferred to read. Unlike most other girls, she didn't care about the clothes she wore or the way she looked. Her father, Dr. Shekhar, bought her dresses, skirts, hairbands, and girly accessories, but Nooni usually preferred wearing a t-shirt and leggings. When she was younger, she had long curly hair that her mother Usha used to insist on plaiting every day. But as she grew older, she opted to cut it so that it fell to her shoulders, much to the disappointment of her mother, who was proud of her daughter's thick, long hair. Nooni loved braiding her hair and tying brightly colored bows at the ends of her two plaits. There was nothing Usha could do to change her mind. Once Nooni decided to do something, nothing could stop her. Now Nooni's real name was Anoushka, but everyone called her Nooni. It was easy to spell and Nooni liked it. Today was a big day for her. She was a 7th grade student of a CBSE English medium school called Kendriya Vidyalaya in Bangalore and was about to get her yearly report. As soon as the teacher handed her the report card, Nooni closed her eyes and prayed to God in a last-minute attempt to bribe him into giving her a good rank. While she didn't care much for how she was placed in the class, she knew that her father was very sensitive about it and she wanted to make him happy. With hesitation, she finally opened her eyes and turned to the first page of her report card. Her eyes searched impatiently to see her rank in class. Finally, she saw a 2-digit number, 10. She had ranked 10th in her class. Oh, Dad is going to be disappointed today, she thought. Absent-mindedly, Nooni looked up and saw her friend Ramya jumping with joy. Immediately she knew that Ramya had come first. Nooni smiled. She was happy for her friend and got up to congratulate her. Soon she was surrounded by her friends. Everybody was either talking about the rankings or their plans for the 10-week summer holiday. Some were going to attend swimming classes while others were taking courses in art, music or dance. But Nooni's parents had other plans. It was time to board the school bus. Nooni said goodbye to everyone and began thinking about her summer plans as the bus began the journey home. After a few days, she and her parents were going to leave Bangalore and head to a holiday resort in Coorg. This was their ritual every summer. Nooni's mother took a 10-day vacation from her job as a bank officer and her father, a doctor and a physician, adjusted his schedule so that he could get away too. It was a hard task for him to take off from the hospital because of the increase in patient load during the summer season. The three of them always went to a resort which they booked at least 6 months in advance. On their prior trips, they had visited Kodaikanal, Ooty, Yarkud, Nainital and Manali among others. The places may be different, but the routine was exactly the same. They would check into the resort and buy a few things from a market nearby so that Usha could make them some breakfast, or if she didn't feel like cooking, they would eat in a restaurant. After a sumptuous meal, the three of them would go out for a nature walk and her father, who loved photography, would take pictures of everything they saw. If the resort had a swimming pool, Nooni and her father would swim and laze on the pool chairs for the entire day. Occasionally, other family friends also accompanied them on the trip. Before returning to Bangalore, Usha and Nooni would buy souvenirs for their friends. Nooni had mixed feelings towards such a routine vacation. She didn't really love it, but she didn't want to miss it either. After they came back from Coorg, Nooni was going to join a summer camp where she would learn yoga, painting, swimming and pottery for a few weeks. By the time the camp was over, school would reopen. Nooni would have liked to do something different and new. But she couldn't think of anything. Her mind wandered to her mother's parents who lived in Indore. The city was a furnace in the summer and her family did not like to go there at that time of the year. However, her maternal grandparents usually came to Bangalore in the winter and spent at least 10 days with them. Sometimes Usha took Nooni for a week to Indore during the Diwali holidays. But Nooni never felt comfortable there. Though her family spoke Kannada at home, the main language spoken by the people in Indore was Hindi. Moreover, it was a little different from the Hindi she studied in school. Maybe that's why she didn't have any friends there. Dr. Shekhar practiced in a nursing home. He was the son of a farmer and belonged to a small village called Somanahalli, which was located on the banks of the Varada river in North Karnataka. Dr. Shekhar's parents still lived in the village. Every year during the Ganesha festival, Nooni and her parents would make the 4-hour trip to Somanahalli by car and stay there for a few days. Dr. Shekhar felt uncomfortable in the village and always wanted to come back to Bangalore as quickly as possible. Usha, on the other hand, didn't mind spending time there. Nooni liked Somanahalli. It had huge fields, a sparse forest and big hills. She loved going with her grandfather to the fields every morning. There were plenty of vegetables and fruits for her to see, like rice, paddy and banana. At home in her grandparents' house, she was fascinated by the cows in the cowshed. Still busy with her thoughts, Nooni realized just in time that the bus had reached her stop. She hurriedly got off the bus and walked home. Her family lived on the 4th floor of a nice apartment complex in Jayanagar. When she reached home and rang the bell, Usha opened the door. Nooni was surprised and happy to see her mother. "Mom, what are you doing back from office so early?" Without waiting for a response, she handed over her school bag to her mother and went inside the bedroom to change her clothes. On her way, she passed by the kitchen and saw the maid Kaveri cutting vegetables. Usha followed her. "Nooni, I am sorry. We are not going to Coorg this year. I hope you aren't too disappointed," she said. "That's fine, Mom, but why? What happened?" "I have to attend a special training program in Delhi. It is compulsory and I have to report there in a few days. The training is for 6 weeks, Nooni." "Oh, Mom, I want to come to Delhi too. You know how much I love it there." Nooni went to her mother and hugged her. Usha knew that her daughter loved places with monuments, probably because she was a graduate in history, and she often told Nooni simple and short stories about famous buildings. A few years ago, Shekhar had been invited to speak at a 4-day conference in Delhi, and Usha and Nooni had accompanied him. While Shekhar spent his days working, Usha and Nooni went to see the Qutub Minar, the Red Fort, and Humayun's tomb. Nooni was enchanted by the stories behind the old buildings. "No, my child," Usha said a little sadly. "I can't take you. I have to stay in a shared room with another colleague. Also, Delhi will be very hot right now." "Hotter than Indore?" "Of course," said Usha. "Then I'll have to spend my entire vacation in summer camps," declared Nooni unenthusiastically. "No, that may not be necessary," Usha said thoughtfully. "Let me think about this a little bit and figure out where you can stay for 6 weeks. Give me some time. I will talk to your father." Nooni nodded. She was not worried. She knew that her parents would find a nice place for her to stay.